Well, I'm Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable gathers, and there's no telling what those guys are going to say, so stay tuned for that madness. But between now and then, some great guests and information coming your way. We'll speak with a noted surgeon about reconstructive surgery and some other important topics. We'll salute a noted School of Nursing in our area, right at one of our major universities. They do such great work there. And Dave Briggs will be along to tell you, among other things, something having to do with Gilligan's Island. I'm not going to tell you what that is. We'll keep that in abeyance for now. But we'll get right to this topic, and I'm excited to have these folks here with us talking about scholarships on my immediate right. Ruth Hyde is Executive Director of Community Engagement for Crumley Roberts, Attorneys at Law. Next to her, our good friend Stephanie Frazier is Director of Sales for CenturyLink. Next to her is Paul Russ. He's Vice President of Marketing and Development for Hospice and Palliative Care of Greensboro. It's a great group. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Ruth, I'm going to start with you because you and I have talked about this before. In fact, Stephanie's been here before on this. But Crumley Roberts offers two different kinds of scholarships, and I want you to kind of just give us a setup on what those are and who's eligible for them.
So each year, through our Education Advancement and Leadership Center, we give a Next Step Scholarship as well as a Founders Scholarship. And the Next Step Scholar is an individual who is currently at a community college looking to transfer to a 4-year degree.
Okay.
And then the Founders is a graduating North Carolina high school senior looking to attend college next year.
And of course, we'll get to Paul and Stephanie in a second because they're on the committee that's really making the decision about who gets this. But before we do that, one quick question I wanted to ask you, Ruth. Are there certain things that the candidates had to send in or do, any task or anything?
Yes, so it's a pretty standard scholarship application, but the one standout is the essay. And so we've asked the candidates to share with us through an essay when they've stood up for something that they thought maybe might have been a bad situation or to do the right thing, which co-aligns with our brand promise at Crumley Roberts, we stand up for you.
And it might be the students have stood up for themselves or for somebody else or for an ideal, that type of thing.
Yes.
Stephanie and Paul, I don't care who jumps in to answer this, but I'm curious, what is sitting on the committee to decide this? You must see a lot of great applicants. Any you don't have to name them, but have you seen some outstanding folks in this process?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you'd be amazed. Some of these kids are so impressive. They've started nonprofits. They've turned personal tragedy into inspiration for their own careers and their own personal development and their growth. They blow us away, actually, every year. We're kind of dumbfounded when we read through
Are they
them.
older than their age then, I guess, in some cases?
In many cases, yeah. They're very sophisticated with what they've learned, their life lessons that they've already learned, and we have to remind ourselves they're only in high school. Many of them are only in high school.
Yeah.
I think the maturity level, when you talk about do they appear older than they are, I think some of the things these kids are doing is unbelievable, whether it's in their community or their church or in school, the grades that they've got. I mean, the overall roundedness of these kids has been really impressive.
Well, what was the essay that they were writing about? Because Ruth mentioned they had to write an essay.
Yeah, so they basically had to answer the question, give us an example in 500 words or less of how you stood up for somebody.
And they had to go with that theme like Ruth was talking about. Yeah.
That's right.
And so you were impressed by some of those essays, right, Paul?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there is I can remember one kid that he was a two-sport jock. You know, your typical, the kid that you see on Friday Night Lights, you know, or some show like that. But he had some foreign students that were on his soccer team, Burmese kids, and he ended up tutoring them, helping them understand American civics.
Wow.
And just really engaged these kids, not only as a team leader on the team, but also he learned about their culture, learned about their work.
Well, I can't wait to find out who wins these scholarships, which brings me, before we wrap up and get out of time here, Ruth, when are we going to know? I mean...
Well, currently the committee will be seeking out the winners next Monday.
Okay.
So the committee will get back together and look at all the selections to date and the finalists, and we'll be announcing those winners next week.
All
Very
right.
exciting.
Up on screen, www.crumleyroberts.com. Lots of information about this great group of attorneys and all the great community service they do. Thank you all for the service you're doing, too.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll wait and see who the winners are later. All right, we'll be right back. Back now on Triad Today. I get excited talking about the School of Nursing at Winston-Salem State University. I was a little boy growing up in Winston-Salem and used to hear a lot about it way back when, because I'm like 100 years old, and they have been turning out some great nurses long before I was around too. And I want to talk to some folks that can tell you that special story. On my immediate right, Leslie Shepard Battle is Assistant Dean of Nursing at Winston-Salem State University. Next to her, the esteemed Dr. Cecil Holland, who is Associate Dean of School of Nursing, Winston-Salem State University. And we're also excited to have a student, Shaughnessy Gilmore, nursing student at Winston-Salem State University. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Cecil, let me start with you. Just give me a quick overview of the nursing program at Winston-Salem State University. What does it mean?
Well, as you mentioned, we've been around for a long time. We started in 1953 with a first class of 33 students. Today, we have over 700 students in our program.
Just amazing.
It's an amazing program. We turn out some of the best nurses in North Carolina.
Yeah, I think so. And my mom and dad knew some of their friends that would go over there. And like I said, I go back, I was born in '54, and it was always sort of a mainstay of the community to have it there. What do you think, Cecil, is if you had to sum it up quickly, a mission or a goal of the nursing program?
To be able to produce excellent clinicians, to be able to take care of the healthcare needs of our community.
Yeah, because, Leslie, I mean, the nurses are right there in the trenches with the patients. Oftentimes when the doctors can't be there, there's a lot of responsibility there. There's something that you emailed me the other day, Leslie, or Cecil might have, about something called points of pride. What does that mean?
Points of pride are the things that we like to take pride on in our university. One of the big things that we have with the Division of Nursing is our diversity of programs that we offer. We have traditional, accelerated, for our pre-licensure students, we have an RN to BSN program. We also have our graduate programs from the Master's in Nurse Practitioner.
So you're covering everything?
We're covering everything through the Doctorate of Nursing Practice.
Well, it sounds like you've got everything there, so this will be a stupid question, but is anything new on the horizon with the program that we ought to know about?
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things that we have right now is our competency-based education program. It's in the pilot phase at the moment, and we are hoping to expand that by mid-year this year.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Shaughnessy, you told me off camera you were from Greensboro, so you probably just get up in the morning and walk right over there to the,
Pretty much.
Yeah. don't walk down I-40 though. That's dangerous. Look, what impact has the nursing program had on you?
I would say that it's impacted me in a way of making me more mature, especially as a nursing student. And in the program, they treat you as if you're already a nurse.
Right.
So you're already getting that background information and being treated it's kind of like you're being treated as an adult, you know what I mean?
Right.
So once you go out into the field as a nurse, you'll be ready.
Well, my mama told me, my late mother told me never to ask a woman her age, but I got to know, I mean, how old are you?
I am 22. My birthday
22.
was on March 5th.
Okay, so
on Monday.
You and I are both Pisces then. But the reason I was asking that is because of already the success you seem to exude in what you're doing and the excitement for what you're doing. So are you like at a graduate level, or what class are you?
Right now, I am a junior in the program.
Okay.
So starting in fall, I will be a senior.
Wow.
Yep.
That's great. Now, what specific field, and I'm assuming this, specific field of nursing, what kind of career do you want to pursue after graduation?
Right now, I'm stuck between, I haven't gone through my mother-baby rotation yet, but I've always wanted to do that.
The
but right
mother-baby
now,
rotation.
Yes, there's different rotations for each
So that means
one.
you rotate babies for the mothers?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I'm also thinking about cardiac ICU. So I really like
Cardiac.
the whole fast-paced thing.
Wow, golly, I tell you, that's something. Cecil, can older adults enroll in the nursing program? Because I remember back in the 50s and 60s, like I said, my parents talking about a friend of theirs or somebody that goes to the church going back to school and doing it. What about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a program specifically designed for individuals who already have a degree in some other area who may be looking to change their career path.
Right.
And so that's our accelerated baccalaureate degree in nursing. But, we have students, our student population is very varied.
Yeah.
You would think that the majority would be the traditional age student.
They're not.
But it's not.
So Shaughnessy's 22, I'm 122. You can take both of us. Up on the screen, WSSU.edu is the website, and for our radio audience, I'll say it again, WSSU.edu. Check out all the great programs, and now click over to the nursing program. You can learn about that too. Thanks everybody for doing this.
Thank you.
All right, for
Thank
all you
you.
do in the community. We'll be right back after this. On Triad Today, we've been doing this show for about 15 years now, and I haven't seen this next gentleman for about 15 years. He came on back then to talk about some various topics related to plastic surgery, and we're lucky to get him back now. He's a very distinguished surgeon. On my right, my good friend Dr. John Fagg. He's a surgeon with Forsyth Plastic Surgery. Welcome back after all this time.
Jim, it's pleasant.
Was it something I said? You just didn't want to come back?
No,
I didn't offend you, did I?
No, you look just like you used to, and we can't take credit for it.
You're going to have to do some kind of surgery on me to get rid of this gut of mine, but other than that. Okay, now, what is the scope of plastic surgery? Because a lot of people think they know exactly what it is, but maybe they don't.
Everybody knows about the cosmetic part of plastic surgery, the facelifts, the breast surgeries, the liposuction, but our practice is really head to toe. We do skin cancers, we do cancer excisions, reconstruction, breast reconstruction. We work in consult with general surgeons, neurosurgeons, and orthopedic surgeons to close difficult wounds, whether those wounds are from surgery or from trauma. And we also take ER calls.
You know, a lot of people, as I said, you know, they don't think about, they hear on the news sometimes, hey, check this mole or check that or whatever, but you guys really are good at doing this, where you can check over something, maybe send it off for a biopsy and just give you some peace of mind one way or the other to know that. But it's a great thing what you guys do. Reconstructive surgery, I was thinking on the way over here that, you know, if some lady that I knew, a wife, a mom, a sister, knew that she was facing a mastectomy, at what point would she get in touch with you and your colleagues? Would it be later on down the road, or what happens?
Well, that's a very difficult time for the patient. They just heard the diagnosis. They're seeing the general surgeon is going to do the mastectomy, and we see the great majority of our patients right after that, before they have the surgery, to go over the different ways of reconstructing the breast, to assure them that we can restore them towards normalcy. And then we let them elect. Do they want to do it at the time they have the mastectomy? Would they like to wait? Sometimes there's some immediate treatments right afterwards that we do wait for, but most of the patients now are electing for immediate reconstruction on the day they have the mastectomy.
So the consult with you guys as plastic surgeons and reconstructive surgeons happens early on then?
We prefer that, and the patient appreciates that.
Now, I'm going to use a word, and it's probably not correct. Let's say minor procedures, and I guess no procedure is minor, but things that aren't as invasive. You do things in the office, right?
We do things in the office. In our upstairs office, we do it strictly under local anesthesia, and that's, as you mentioned earlier, taking moles or small skin cancers off. And then in our downstairs operating room, we have fully staffed operating rooms where we have general anesthesia. That means going to sleep and sedation.
Right. You know, one thing that fascinates me that I really haven't asked Andy and some of the other guys in the practice about is something you emailed me about, and that's some of the community things that y'all are involved in. We have a couple minutes left. Just give me a quick laundry list of some of the things that y'all are active in.
Well, we love our community. We want to give back to our community, so we do participate in things in the community. Dr. Schneider is heavily involved in the symphony. We have members that are on the board of the UNC School of the Arts Foundation.
Right.
Dr. Branch, our newest doctor, works in the free clinics. We see people from the free clinics on referral over if it's something that can't be done in the free clinics. And then several of our doctors go on mission trips. So we've been to West Africa, Togo, Guatemala, Haiti, Moldova.
Really doing community outreach on a global basis.
Yes.
I just think that's great. Before we run out of time, I want to do two quick things. One, I want to put up some information on the screen. ForsythPlasticSurgery.com is the website. Let me say it again for the radio audience too. ForsythPlasticSurgery.com. Tell you all about procedures and who to call and what to do there. But we have about 10, 15 seconds left. I never did ask you this. Why did you go into medicine?
I went into medicine because I came from a family of preachers that helped people, and I thought I'd be a better doctor than a preacher.
Well, I'm not going to. I think you could have been good at both.
Yeah.
And I think you've preached at me sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's Dr. John Fagg. Hey, thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Thanks for all you do.
See you in another 15.
All right, no, don't make it that long. We'll be right back after this. Right now on Triad Today, always glad when this gentleman can stop by and talk about the arts and theater and all those good things. Next to me, our good friend Dave Briggs, director of the High Point Theater. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you, Jim.
Before we get into, of course, we always like to promote upcoming events, remind people of upcoming events, because sometimes we forget. but I always have my one stupid question I like to ask in the beginning, things that come into my mind, and that is, Dave, if I go over to the theater to see whatever show it is, and I get thirsty or something, do you guys have refreshments?
We do have refreshments. In fact, we sell beer and wine, and we have a variety of craft beers as well as some of the more popular national brands. And we sell Pepsi products, and we have water. And then you can also get, snackage. You can get your Snickers bar.
Now, is this only like if there's an intermission, or can I just get up at any point during the show, or what?
Well, I mean, a little audience decorum doesn't hurt, but get it before the show. We allow you to take it into the theater.
Really?
And then again at intermission, you can come back out and
so you can have
buy some
wine or
things.
whatever in the theater.
You sure can.
All right.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring some wine to the show
Next
today?
time I'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll just taste test for our audience members.
That's right. But anyway, all right, let's get to the, we've talked about some of these before. I want to remind people, let's start out with Hopper and Smothers, Friday, March 23rd. Remind us what that is.
Sean Hopper is a percussive style guitar player and a remarkable young man. And Joe Smothers has been around for years. He was part of Doc Watson's Frosty Morn band back in the day with Merle. And he's been at Merle Fest just about every year since its inception. Remarkable folk musician, bluegrass musician in his own right.
All right, On Golden Pond gets going there on Thursday, April 5th. Is this one night for this?
This is a one-night show, and this is the play that the TV movie, or the film, that thing.
Well, they've had so many adaptations of it.
was developed from. And to see it performed live is really very special. So it's Ethel and Norman Thayer and their daughter, and kind of a dysfunctional family, but it's a very, very touching show.
Yeah, I didn't think about it in that terms. When you mention it, going from film to all these different adaptations, I've seen people do TV movies and stuff. It's got to be more intimate that way, so it's probably a neat thing.
Yeah.
Now, Black Violin, we mentioned this last month. I want to mention it again because it's coming up on Tuesday, April 24th.
Yeah.
It's always good to plan ahead, and I'll ask you about tickets in a minute, but Black Violin.
They have incorporated classical music with jazz and hip hop.
Okay.
And there's actually a DJ on stage as well. And so they've got their trio plus their DJ. They've been with us. This will be their third time with us. It's backed by popular demand.
Wow.
These guys are amazing. And they've got a wonderful story. They grew up together and went to Juilliard together, and just brilliant musicians.
Now, all the things we've mentioned so far, are tickets still available for these?
They are. You can get them at our box office. The easiest way to do is to call our box office number, and then there's no convenience fee. And that's 336-887-3001.
All right, now I've saved this to last because I want to hold up this book here, and people say, what is this book about? It says, what would Mary Ann do? And it means, Mary Ann, who played by Dawn Wells, on Gilligan's Island. Now, why, Jim, am I holding this up? Because, Dave, on Saturday, April 28th, what's going to happen?
Well, Dawn Wells is going to be coming and telling us how life would be in this time if it were Mary Ann living it.
Wow.
So from those early days of the 1960s with Mary Ann shipwrecked at the island, today with cell phones and all the electronics that we have. And she's going to be telling stories about her days on Gilligan's Island and the shooting and so on, and ever since then. And she's a remarkable lady. I mean, she's the only one from the show who actually got royalties.
Yeah.
And made $1 million.
Interesting story. And it'll be a
lady.
Q&A thing and everything. I'm looking forward to it. And we'll plug it again next month a little bit. But tickets are available. Do this. HighPointTheater.com is up on screen. So is the box office number, 887-3001. You want to get tickets to all these if you don't already have your season tickets. Dave, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right. We'll be right back after this. All right, today, let's get to the round table. On my right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman, the great journalist broadcaster. Next to him, speaking of great, Dr. Don Martin, High Point University professor and vice chair of the County Commissioners in Forsyth. Next to him, Keith Granberry, who is founder of Helping Hands Consultants, doing a lot of work in voter registration this year, and he is under the weather, so just listen very carefully when he speaks. I do that anyway. Guys, before we get to our topics, we got some sad news to report. My friend Woody Durham, the legendary broadcaster, passed away a few days ago. He was, of course, the voice of Carolina for many, many years. He was the face of WFMY-TV for 14 years. That's where I worked with him doing weather when he was doing sports. And he really set the bar high for all of us. He was a great guy, a tough taskmaster and a perfectionist, but he was the best at what he did. And Woody Durham was 76 years old. Ogie, quick comment on Woody.
You know, I think the only time that I've ever been a little bit nervous on this show was when Woody was, that one time Woody was with us, remember?
Yeah, he came over
He
here.
sat right here, and I was thinking on the way over, man, I'm going to be sitting beside Woody Durham. I hope I don't freeze up and say something stupid.
Yeah, he came in 2012.
I mean, he's legendary. He just, my whole life is wrapped up in ACC basketball, and Woody's been a part of my whole life.
Absolutely.
It's not
Absolutely.
the same without
No, it was good to have him here in 2012 when he was promoting his book. You can still get it, I think, on Amazon. All right, guys, according to a new Associated Press poll, 57% of Americans think Donald Trump is a racist. Are they right? And if so, can he win re-election? Ogie.
Yes, 57% of the country is right. And I don't even think he'll be up for re-election. I don't think he can serve out his term. I'm serious as I can be.
Done.
Well, it probably depends on how you define racist, but clearly he has some of those, I think I would define it tendencies, yes.
Tendencies. Keith.
I think Donald Trump is an opportunist. I think his racism is built on opportunity, and he sees that as a way to build a base to win.
So can he get reelected?
He can.
Okay. So anybody that says he can't could be underestimating.
I wouldn't underestimate him.
Okay. There's a church in Pennsylvania, guys, that celebrates AR-15 assault rifles, claiming that guns are God's, quote, rod of iron. Should local authorities shut down the church as an endangerment to the community? It's kind of weird, Ogie.
I don't know that they can do that, but I tell you, I would get a counterintelligence. I would get a mole in there and keep an eye on those people. I really would.
Very strange. Very kind of a cult thing, Don.
Yeah, I think absolutely no. But basically, I think you do is just like you monitor things that are more risky. And I think monitoring, I like the idea of a mole. It's good.
Shut them down, Keith?
I'd shut him down. Absolutely. I just think it's too much going on and too much unknown. I'd shut him down.
They have a constitutional right to.
Well, they do have constitutional rights to do it, but then it's going to be too late if something goes awry, too. It's a tricky thing. I hope we don't have anything going on like that here locally. Meanwhile, Republican Congressman Ted Budd of 13th District, who owns a gun store and a gun range, says assault rifles are not the problem. Because if you ban them, he says, killers will just use other weapons. You buy his reasoning, Ogie?
That's so predictable. NRA logic is so, he doesn't even need to say that. I can recite his lines for him. The script, they stick to the script, the party line, yada, 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 go away, go away.
Done.
Yeah, life is not that simple. Clearly guns are a tool that get used by people, and human behavior dictates bad use. However, access makes a huge difference too.
Keith.
Assault weapons were built for war. What about that don't they understand?
I don't know. A single shot revolver that you might keep in your house, if you're lucky and you're a sick person and you're weird and evil, you might get a round or two off. But an assault rifle, you're talking 300 or 400 rounds a minute. Okay, former Davidson County Sheriff Gerald Heggie, who was once convicted on corruption charges, wants his old job back. Heggie used to keep Davidson virtually crime-free. Can he win, Ogie?
I hope his time has come and gone, Jim. He's just too far out there.
Really?
Way too far.
I do not think so.
You don't think so?
I do not
Keith.
think so.
You said keep it crime-free. I mean, that depends on what your definition of crime is. Because there's certain things he may have done that may have been criminal.
That's right.
To certain people.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
Forsyth Tech instructor was falsely accused by a student of threatening to kill President Trump, but the man has since been cleared by the Secret Service. Guys, if the student can be identified, he was anonymous, should he do jail time? Ogie, quickly.
You know, I think I don't know what the law would be or if there is a law in the books, but yes, there should be. You should be held accountable if you do that.
Done.
Well, he probably the professor could probably challenge him for defamation, basically.
If they can find out who did it. Yeah, Keith.
Yeah, if you're threatening the president, whoever that may be, that's a problem because there's a lot of nut jobs out here, and they have to be held accountable.
We don't want to really get into this topic a lot, but I just want to say congratulations to the Civil Rights Museum. They met their matching dollar amounts to come out from under the loan from City Council, and so we again congratulate them. And and maybe next time in the future we'll talk about what the future holds there, and we'll see. But anyway, finally, police in Enid, Oklahoma, recently stopped a motorist, guys, and found that the male driver was wearing only a thong bikini and was covered in Vaseline. Guys, have you ever worn a thong bikini, and have you ever covered yourself with Vaseline? Ogie.
Well, Jim, you have to do this. Every
this
week.
Is a legitimate, I do not make
legit.
these things, this is a news story.
If you must know, in 1957, '87, I was the MC of the Princess Whitewater pageant, and I wore a pink thong and a tuxedo
There,
jacket.
see, all right, I just want to know that. All right, Don.
I have not worn a regular bikini, much less a thong.
Right. What about being covered in Vaseline?
I have not done that either.
Keith.
He paused on that.
Yeah, he had to
He
pause.
paused on the Vaseline.
Keith, what do you think, Keith?
I think he had Vaseline.
Yeah.
I didn't have a thong, and I've never worn Vaseline
Okay.
on my body.
And you neither done. All right. And that image of Ogie, I'd like to see a picture of the pink.
We used
anyway.
Wesson oil back in those days.
No,
It
no,
wasn't
I don't want to hear it.
Vaseline.
I don't want to hear it. All right, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Researchers in Germany recently discovered that ants actually administer medical treatments to their fellow ants. Asked if the research was difficult, one scientist said, sure, working with ants is no picnic. For all of us, what's your problem?
Pretty clever, Jim.
Okay, well,
I
that's
like
right. All right. Now, for all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.